So a few months ago, sometime last year, I don't remember the exact date, I'd made a video called Hillary Clinton is unelectable, where I laid out exactly the reasons why it would be impossible for her to win in a general election versus Donald Trump. I also explained in that video that the biggest challenge for Bernie Sanders would be to get through the primary process, and that if he could pull it off, that he would be absolutely unbeatable against Trump. Unfortunately, what I said was accurate, and this is where we're at right now with Donald Trump as president of the country. Hubris and stupidity has finally caught up to us and has led to our downfall. But I didn't make this video to be another one of these I told you so, woe is me, the world is over, how could this have happened, how could this have happened video. I want to talk about what to expect in the coming weeks, and also what we can do to change things. Because the one really good thing, probably the most positive outcome of this election, is it proves that democracy is still real, that your vote does matter, and that the system isn't completely hopeless. So I guess the first place we can start is, what exactly do we have to look forward to in the next coming weeks? And for this one, this is an easy one. Donald Trump just released his first 100-day plan, and you can actually look at it if you just do a Google search for it. But I'll also put some links to his 100-day plan in the video description. Reading through it, it does have one or two good things, like he's going to stop the Trans-Pacific Partnership, blah blah blah, but it also has a lot of crazy in it. Some of the biggest threats that we have is the deregulation of the FDA, the destruction of the EPA, but these are all things we were expecting to happen. And the fact that we just started a trade war with China. One of the big advantages that we have going for us as progressives is that conservatism is a really destructive ideology. And it will not take long, if Trump gets everything that he's looking for in his 100-day plan, for people to be hungry for change. And that's not even figuratively, that's going to be literally. His plan will be an absolute nightmare for anybody making under $100,000 a year. Then that's not even just looking at his tax plan, his plans to target entitlement programs or anything, but also his plan for trade. He's going to impose a 45% tax on all Chinese imports. You know what the fuck that's going to do to the economy? I want you to take a second and go and look at the presidency of Herbert Hoover. Like, just go read a couple articles about him, and you'll see exactly what we have to look forward to. Herbert Hoover was also a businessman, just like Donald Trump. And Herbert Hoover passed a lot of policies that are very similar to what Donald Trump is laying out in his plan. And we all knew what happened next. We ended up with a Great Depression. But I've also been thinking about this for a while, and maybe that's what's necessary. In order for a Bernie Sanders or a FDR type figure to arise, you need to have a Herbert Hoover and a Depression. And this doesn't make me feel good saying this, but it's a necessary reality. And it's something that we have to deal with and get through. We actually have a golden opportunity here as progressives to actually create a party that will work for all of us. The problem is, the people who are currently in charge of making the decisions and picking the leaders are making the same stupid mistakes that they just made with picking Hillary. We can, right now, what the good news is, people like Bernie Sanders and Representative Keith Ellison are not letting them get away with it. And that's where we need to start. We need to help Keith Ellison become the new DNC chair. I saw Howard Dean talking about throwing his hat in the ring to try to become DNC chair. That would be an absolute disaster. We cannot have a repeat of what just happened. And Howard Dean, even though he said some good things in the past, he has changed. He is not the same Howard Dean that he was before. And if Howard Dean becomes the new chair, he's going to run another stupid candidate like Hillary Clinton in the next election. Keith Ellison as DNC chair would be a step in the right direction and a start at unraveling this debacle that the Democrats have put us all into. So, and I hear people floating other ideas for who they want to run in 2020, like they want to run Michelle Obama. This would be an absolute disaster. You think Hillary lost bad? She probably wouldn't win a single state. And the reason why is very simple. Because of the Obama name. People do not like President Obama. And they honestly believe, and rightly so, that he's a corporate insider. You cannot have the Obama name on a ticket. It's not going to win. So who would I put up to run for president in 2020? There's literally only one person who can pull it off, and that's Tulsi Gabbard. Why Tulsi? 1, she's young. 2, veteran. 3, Bernie Sanders 2.0. And 4, anti-war. The Republicans will literally have nothing they can attack her on. And she's one of the very few people in the Democratic Party that refuse to endorse Hillary. She's already proven herself, and she's the only person I can see on the Democratic side who can defeat Trump. Elizabeth Warren, yeah, she talks all the right game, but has a PR issue. And it's going to be very difficult for her to overcome something like that in the general election. As much as I like what Jill Stein is fighting for and creating that third party movement, she also has a PR issue. And that's why it's been difficult for her to break through. It's not only because of the media, you know. Tulsi is the only one I can see who can pull it off. So what do? Well, there are a couple movements that are happening right now to try to get Tulsi involved. But if you know anybody in Hawaii, the best way to do this is to start planting the seed in her mind. We need to start going to her, start calling her office and asking her to run for president. I have a very small audience on here, and I don't expect this video to get a lot of views. But I'm trying my best to do my part to try to help, because this is my country. I saw the Canadian website, the immigration website crash on election night. This is my country, and I'm not running. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to try to make this place better. We have a golden opportunity right now with Trump. The conservatives will finally get their dream. They'll be able to pass anything they want uninhibited. And it's going to be very, very, very destructive. And out of the ashes of the huge forest fire that they're about to start, we as progressives have a golden opportunity to forge a new country. Let's stop being depressed and arguing about it and thinking about what could have been, and let us make it a point to focus on what we can do to change it. what we can do to fix this problem. We didn't ask for this. No, none of us wanted this. But it is what it is. And we can change it. Thank you for watching.